Welcome, everybody, in the Movie Guys verse. This is Jordan here, part of Movie Guys Podcast. We wanted to say thank you so much for downloading this most recent episode. If you don't know what Movie Guys Podcast is, we are a new movie review show that is updated weekly. You can check us out at movieguyspodcast.com and also movieguyspodcast.podbean.com. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another awesome episode of Movie Guys Podcast. I am Jordan, and I'm joined here, like always, with Eric and Ed, and tonight we're talking about The Thing, the remake 1982 film directed by John Carpenter, starring Kurt Russell, the cult sci-fi horror classic. I don't have a pun for this one. I could, but Eric, how you doing?
I mean, you don't really have to have a pun, right? But we could play off of it. Like, don't trust Ed. Whatever you do, don't trust Ed. Because he just watched the movie, right?
Yeah, he did.
You literally made my blood boil to the point to where I then started to morph and explode.
So I gotta get this right off the bat. I got to. So this is part one out of a two-part retrospective series here. We're doing The Thing and The Thing prequel, the 2011 Thing prequel to this movie, all leading up to our third-year anniversary show. So that will just be in a few weeks. And we decided to do this because, well, I'll be honest, I decided to do this because during the winter months of December and January, there are two movies that I always watch, The Thing and The Shining. It's because they have snow in it. That's that simple. And
lame as shit. I'm going to cut you off right there because it's lame as shit. But you know what? Now that you say about the snow, I guess it makes kind of sense because you're snowed in. You know what? Hey, you should have led off with that, Jordan.
I should have. I'm not thinking straight. I can get more beer in me, then I'll think better.
We had phone conversations about this, debates.
I know. Damn it. But anyway, I've known Ed here for a decade, and I just found out we met in college. We made films together. We talked about film theory together.
That sounds really bad.
And this is the first night that Ed has ever seen The Thing.
That's true. I've never seen The Thing before 2 hours ago. And this exact moment. For those listening, I guess we should have done something. So we should have went live or something because I'm sitting here and Jordan wanted to watch my reaction to the end, the last 12 minutes of the movie, which is really the best part.
Well, the whole movie, this is coming from an age of horror where CGI isn't a thing. This is why I think this movie stands out so well is because you have the real shit, right? I mean, you have polyester and puppets.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't hear Frank Oz's voice. You know, this is the era.
You got corn syrup and red dye. You know.
Yeah.
You got Gogs doing weird shit with tentacles, you know. You got everything.
Well, okay, now I have a question to Ed here. Now, Ed, you know that I love my horror films, and you know that I love my sci-fi films. And I first heard about The Thing from my dad, of course, because I loved Alien, and my dad said, oh, you're going to love The Thing. I mean, it just seems like, somebody who likes Alien or sci-fi, somebody in their life would say, well, have you seen The Thing? I'm just surprised that you've never seen or had an interest in seeing. Why didn't you have an interest in seeing this movie? Did you have any idea what it was about?
I mean, I've seen clips and bits and pieces, but I've never watched the movie from start to finish. This is literally the first time. I knew of some things that happened, and I knew that this movie had basically a lot of breakthroughs in special effects. Practical special effects. But it's when people ask me about it, it's actually, you know what, now that I think about it, nobody besides you within the last 3 months has ever said, have you ever seen The Thing?
So pretty much, you know who Rosebud is, you just haven't seen the movie.
No, I mean, I've seen that movie.
But anyway.
An obscure callback, but I get what you mean there, Drew. I will say, would you guys? I'll ask you a question. Would you consider this movie The Thing? Would you consider it to be on the cult side?
It was until 2011. I actually pulled up some research here, and that's what I was going to get into.
How the hell is that a fact that you're going to pull up right now? Like, is
got
there
it right
a committee that go ahead?
No, yeah, just pull it up. I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to just pretty much give you the cliff note of it.
Yeah.
But in 1982, this movie opened up the same weekend as E.T., so this movie fucking tanked.
Well, that makes sense.
Right, correct.
The movie was made for $15 million. It made $19 million in North America, and that's it. That's still it's a positive, but still negative.
Sure.
This actually led to John Carpenter's firing and his 3 multi-picture deal with the Universal Studios. This movie was critically panned. And then it just got this huge cult following on video. People started to talk about it. Hey, have you seen The Thing? So on and so forth, so on and so forth. And then in 2011, I'm actually going to bring the word up here for you. The word that they are saying here on Google is they're called a critical reassessment. And in 1992 is when they first called it that, and a reviewer named Peter Nichols in 1992 re-reviewed it and said, this movie's amazing, what's everybody talking about? Empire Magazine in 2008 released about this movie's amazing. And then finally in 2011, the movie is actually being considered for a Criterion release.
Wow. So it got Animal Housed.
Yeah.
No kidding. Well, good for them. And you know what? I guess I can't hate on it. This movie is very deserving of it, especially when it comes to scary, like sci-fi on its own and scary on its own. You know, that's why I think I enjoy this so much. It obeys the laws, and it's a smart movie too. You know,
it is a smart movie.
Yeah,
yes.
These are smart dudes. All, you know, these are scientists. These are pilots. These are doctors. You know, and they're smart dudes. And they know what the fuck is going on, and I just like the way that they follow the rules in this movie. You know, nothing gets over exaggerated. They make tragic mistakes. You know, like that. Obviously, scary movies need to have, but for the most part, it's well put.
I'm actually going to disagree with you on that before I get into my questions.
Is it the wandering? It's always the wandering, isn't it?
No,
it's just like, dude, what's over in this corner? I'll go by myself. Don't split off, you know that shit. Which happens like 4 times in this movie.
I would argue that this is a very, very tight script. One of the things that I studied in film school from script writing is actually Back to the Future, the first movie. That is what they taught me in film school as perfect screenwriting 101. You have a beginning, you set it up, you remind people in the B plot, which is the middle, and then you pay it off in the end. And it was a tight script. I think The Thing is a pretty tight script. I mean, they introduce everything in the beginning, they remind us of the horrific stuff in the middle, and they pay it off in the end. I think this is a very tight script. I'm going to disagree with you on that. I think everything on this is... I think this movie is pretty... Actually, you know what? This movie is neck and neck with Alien as one of the perfect sci-fi horror films of all time.
You're not going to give me a little leeway on just maybe some of the kills? I mean, that are just set up like that. I'm not disagreeing with you. I love the way that again, the way the plot moves forward, the way that the characters are aware of what's going on, and the way that they, think like, okay, no, logically, let's think. Well, Mac's badass, by the way, too. Like,
yeah.
And I mean, obviously, with that beard and hair, I just want him to lead. You know, just tell me what to do, Mac. Please, I'll listen. And that's why, what's his name? The general was just like, yeah, go ahead. You're in charge now.
You're in charge. Now, Ed, do you know that this is a remake?
I was going to ask you about that when you opened with it. I did not know that this was a remake. I did not.
Yeah, the original movie was a 1951 horror film. It was very popular, sci-fi film called The Thing from Another World. And it's pretty much Frankenstein's monster. The Thing doesn't have a body shape. I mean, it's not this movie. Instead of this thing that morphs into other people and everything, it's just a giant Frankenstein monster that's terrorizing a group of guys on a Antarctica snow base.
Okay. I get it. I get it.
However, though, this movie, the remake, is actually very faithful to the original novella.
Okay.
So just kind of give you an idea. So, okay, Eric, I got to ask Ed. I don't want to get a popcorn rating, but were you surprised? Did you find yourself liking this movie? Before we get into the kills and the special effects, did you like this movie?
Oh, I really, really, really found myself digging the movie. When you say true to the script, and certain things, true to the original story, I'm just going to have to say that I'm just going to have to say, okay, I would have no knowledge of that. Of movies from this era, I can tell you that it probably felt the tightest that I've seen in a long time.
I like the way you said that. I really did.
Yeah, a lot of those movies were very, and you even said very cut and dry. Like, I'm telling you what I'm going to tell you what I tell you, and then tell you what I told you. Like, movies from the 80s, especially the early 80s horror genre, were very, this is it, cut and paste, just change the monster.
Oh, it's because they're looking for the graphics. That's what everyone wanted. That's what people went to go see. For the most part, that's what they wanted.
Yeah, this one, I don't want to say that it tricked me, but they let you wander and let your mind wander into thinking who is infected, who is the replica.
Right? They leave things open. They don't tell you.
Yeah, they don't. They want your mind to think about it, which is really fucking smart. And I don't know that I could write a script that would lead me to want to try to pick and choose who's who. And when you get the random jump towards the end when they're doing the blood check, and it's the random dude with the fro, the white guy with the fro.
I think he was the first one to be infected. Sorry for everyone. These are where the spoilers are kicking in. I guess is where we're going to start talking, because this is where theories come in of guessing and checking. I'm going to assume 1982 that everyone aside from Ed had seen this movie before. If you had not, then please watch it. It's very worth it. But I think the first human kill that we kind of see it's off-camera kills. Remember when the dog? Mac and them, Kurt Russell and them were going to go to the other base camp and just do awesome things. And the dog was at the base, and the dog started doing the lone wolf thing, and then went into the room, and I think that was our first victim. I think that was Fro, dude. I think that's our first.
Yeah, they don't tell you who it is, but maybe it was him. I bet you it was. That's a good thought.
Yeah, that's what I think. So yeah, but either way, in that first scene, you don't know who it is. So my guess is just as good as anybody else's right now.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
So I know when I first saw this movie, I got, and I'm not bullshitting, I got physically ill. Because I watched this at probably 10 or 11 years old, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. My dad showed me the movie, and Eric, I already know that you're going to probably agree with me on this, so that's why I want to hear what Ed has to say about it too. When the dog is finally in the kennel, and it starts to multiply with the other dogs. What did you go, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, dude, I thought I could handle this movie, and I must have been like a junior high, and it was like one of those what the fuck is this? What the hell is going on, man? And then it just gets even better because, you think that's the most fucked up scene in this movie? You have that, oh man, there's so many good parts that I want to have to go into it, right? But the spider head?
The spider head's ridiculous.
And the spider thing is the most consistent thing about the thing. For whatever reason, it always has sprouted, the little legs, the little crab legs.
Yeah. Gets away quick.
Yeah.
So Ed, what do you think of when the thing first showed up and it starts to infect the dogs and that monster? What do you think of that?
Well, I feel like it was a contradiction to what they later said, which was it needs to be alone by itself in a room with something or someone in order to consume it, and it wouldn't know the difference between a human and a dog, right?
Yeah,
theoretically speaking,
living. It just needs living.
Yeah, it needs a host.
Body.
It wouldn't know the difference between a human and a dog, and there's 3, 4, 5, 6 dogs in that kennel, however many. So that's a later contradiction. But yeah, I mean, to say that it was, yeah, I mean, it was literally like, what the fuck is going on? And the effects, you know, I hate to keep going back to this, but the effect.
That's why I want to know what you thought of the effect.
Yeah, the effect was fantastic. I mean, you know, you don't get like the corniness of Raiders of the Lost Ark with all the Nazis' faces melting, which was a great effect, but it was corny. You know, this was like you're sitting there watching this thing just rip itself apart. The dog's skull falls off. It turns into, you know, like this Venus flytrap looking thing.
Or what's the thing from Stranger Things? The
Demogorgon or whatever the hell it's called. And yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about that. Maybe that's where they got some of the.
That 80s nostalgia type of thing, you know?
I guess. So, yeah, I mean, it was really cool. I thought they did a great job. You know, it shows early that it tries to attach itself to one of the other dogs, which why it would try to attach itself to another dog is beyond me. Like, why would it pick the next host that's, like, more evolved? I don't know. But still, that was a cool moment. Yeah, I really liked that.
My favorite effect in the whole movie was when the bigger guy was on the table and his stomach turned into a mouth and bit the guy's hands off.
Yeah, that was great. That was really good.
Easily best part of that fucking movie, like, or at least best kill, I should say.
That was one of the big surprise kills too. I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, that was the bigger surprise kill.
That was the surprise kill. Eric, the famous scene in the movie is when Kurt Russell does one thing that not a lot of people do in movies nowadays. They get smart and go, okay, something's going on. I'm going to tie everybody to a chair, prove to everybody that I'm not infected, and we're going to find out who's fucking infected. And what's great about that scene is that why I think this scene made the movie, and I don't know if you agree with me on this or not, how can I say this the best way? The scene drags on to the point where it's like, is something going to happen or something not going to happen? John Carpenter made that choice to do that because you know when they started that scene, something was going to happen. It was a slow fucking burn.
Oh, yeah.
And it just made you sit at the edge of your seat going, who is it? Who is it? Oh, my God. Nope. And then out of nowhere, it's just crazy.
They explain the thing, I guess the alien, very well. That at least they get smart really quick, and that's what you're talking about. Yeah, exactly. Where they use the logic. Okay, this works, this doesn't, and we should do more of this and less of this. So logic comes into play, and that really is something you don't see, because how many times are you watching a scary movie and you slap your hand to the head and just go, hey, wait, dingus over there, how about you just do this over there then? And
don't go hiding into a garage filled with chainsaws.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this movie definitely doesn't insult the audience. I really enjoyed that about this, and that was a very high tension building moment too. But anyway, just Mac's way of knowing how it reacts. Know that it's like hyper defensive. That it can play the part when it has a host, but when it's on its own, on its molecular level, that it's ride or die. You know what I mean? It'll defend itself if provoked, and I think that was just a really cool effect.
And I 100% agree with what you're saying about how like the guy works. Kurt Russell works through the logic himself. You're told several times that it's the blood. You have to test the blood, and when later on when he's like, I don't have a doctor or nobody scientific related to do this. I know something's related to blood, but here's what I know about viruses, kind of, sort of, because I'm a chess guy, like I'm making chess moves, right? It's your blood, to man, blood is just tissue. It means nothing once it leaves your body. But to the thing, it wouldn't know what it is. It would be part of it. So let's burn the blood that we're testing, and it's going to try to defend itself. Like that's like, he's obviously not a doctor, not as smart as a doctor, and a lot of movies basically try to insult the audience by saying, well, obviously everybody can fucking do this when you see the doctor doing that. Like, if I was Kurt Russell and not a doctor, just like a military dude, I would not know how to do blood tests. So this is what I would know how to do.
Dude, you're right. I think one of the most heartbreaking and scary scenes in the movie is when, forgive me, I don't know all the characters' names, but is when the guy's running outside and they finally catch up with him and he's turning into the thing, or he's like half thing, half guy, and he makes that weird noise with his mouth open and his
Yeah,
arm.
gets his hands cut off.
Yeah, it's just fucking brutal. There is one thing different in the novella that I wanted to tell you guys, because I did actually get a chance to read this week online here, and I think it's a smart idea as well. I don't know why they didn't do it in this movie, but in the novella, they did not. They were noticing that it was turning to be bird migration season at this time or something like that, and they were trying to avoid the thing attaching itself to a bird, because they said if this thing attaches itself to a bird, it will be global.
Yeah.
And that was a nice little, like, oh my God, here comes the birds, like, what do we do? You know what I mean, kind of thing. I really, really dug that in reading it. I kind of wish they did something like that in this movie. Do you guys agree with that?
Well, they kind of did. The computer said that they had that be told from the computer projection.
Or even at the end when they were blowing up the base, and Mac was just like, "Listen, we're gonna die here." Like he's accepting it. He knows it. He knows what they're dealing with. We're not getting off of this. We're not getting out of this base. We're dying here, guys. Like that's
when he
what's
says
happening.
to what's his name, Cribs or whatever, Childs,
Keith David,
yeah.
Keith
So
motherfucking David.
We're going to talk about Keith David last, but there's two more things I want to say. The ending monster. Now, that is not the Thing's true form.
That's the big guy, right?
Yeah, we do not know, and I have not seen anything in the prequel that shows or tells us, that we're going to review next week, what the Thing's true form actually is. Now, Ed had a great idea that it could be something arachnid because of the spider legs coming out once in a while, but there is no true form, so that could be interesting to see in next week's review. But that big monster at the end, Ed, how'd you feel about that monster? The effect, the everything.
It was awesome. I mean, it was a combination of all the things the Thing had been in the movie.
Right.
It was two dogs. It was two people. Right. Like it was everything the Thing had been combined. It's like the mega boss.
Yeah. A nice little stew there.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, you know, when you played video games in like the 90s and they built up to the big bads.
It was like
you know what I mean?
Like Akira.
Yeah, it was. It was like you had to learn how to beat this guy because the big bad has this problem. Then you had to learn how to do this, and like 5 or 6 different bad guys. And then all of a sudden, here's the big bad. You got to fight him, and he's got all the things that the other bad guys have had. So yeah, I mean, it was awesome.
Like Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat 1.
Yes.
Just like it. So this is the end here with my question, and also your theories. So, there is tons of movie theories going around. There are tons of movie conspiracy theories for all different kinds of movies. But Ed and Eric, do you know that there's a conspiracy movie theory that has not been debunked yet at the end of this movie? You guys have any idea what this theory is?
Is it that Keith David is assimilated?
That is the thing. So, what Eric is saying, Ed, is Childs, the black guy in the movie, right? There is a
Keith
fan.
David, man. We all know Keith David.
Keith David. There is a theory. If you go back after this review, Ed, and watch the movie, you will see Kurt Russell and how he is shivering, and you can see his breath.
Okay.
You don't see Childs' breath
because he's not breathing. Because that was the other guy. The guy, like the reason they found out the guy whose stomach ate the doctor.
Yeah.
He wasn't breathing.
No, I'm not saying about Childs. Keith
no,
David,
I get you. I get exactly what you're saying.
There's no breath coming out. And people don't know why. So people are speculating that Childs turns into the Thing and kills Kirk Douglas. Do you agree with this theory, guys, or do you disagree with this theory?
I mean, I don't know that I agree or disagree with it. It had it has a valid point from what you're telling.
What about you, Eric?
I was more hoping that Mac is smart enough to maybe notice that detail as well, because he was like a choo-choo train at the end there, man.
I know, right? He like diligent.
Yeah, I mean, he was like me on a Saturday night, if you know what I mean.
Nice. Well,
all that smoke.
Well, we do know what happens to Kirk Douglas because there is a very mediocre video game for the Xbox and PlayStation 2 that came out in the 2000s called The Thing as well.
I had it. It was a Walmart special.
Yes, I had the game too. I played the game, and the game is an exact sequel to this movie. And there is a team of Marines, a la Alien, that go to the Antarctica station there, and you find Kirk Douglas's body ripped to shreds, but no child's.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then you just fight thousands of little, because you're like, how the hell can you make a Thing video game? Well, your main enemies are the little spider heads in a way. There's like thousands of little spider
there's
heads.
a bunch of little spider heads.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into our popcorn rating here. I'm interested to see what Ed has to say. So Ed, we always go with you first. Ed, what is going to be your popcorn rating for The Thing, 1982?
You know what? Seriously, this movie really holds up really well. I don't know if your average moviegoer would care about this movie today, but for guys like us, the movie guys, I'm giving this, and this is the first time I've ever seen this movie. So I'm giving this movie a large bag of popcorn.
That was a good choice.
I'm giving it a large bag.
Are you interested, Ed, to see the prequel? Because we do know, because I want to make this very clear to the fans here, none of us has seen the prequel. And we do know that the prequel ends shot for shot where this movie begins with them chasing the dog in the helicopter. Are you interested, Ed, in to see the prequel?
No.
I mean,
seriously.
Honestly,
No, and I'm telling you, I'm just being completely blunt and completely upfront about this.
Please elaborate.
This movie makes your mind wander, right? It makes me think what happened to the other base. But I don't want to know what happened to the other base. I want to think that I know what happened on the other base.
Yeah, you know just as much as they do.
Right. I want to say that the sequel or the prequel movie is literally going to be the exact same movie I just watched, but dumbed down.
I'm actually really excited to see the double-headed person
fusion.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how that happens in this prequel.
Well, I hope they don't make it cheesy because I have a feeling they're going to make that cheesy. That's going to be a CGI, I would imagine. When did this? You said 2011, right?
2011, so it's probably going to be all CG. Eric, what is going to be your popcorn rating for The Thing, 1982?
Oh, this is a large bag of popcorn with some butter. Are you kidding me? Like this is one of the best whodunits. Like on a sci-fi level, and I just like the way that everything is explained. That again, they don't need to hold your hand on explaining the situation or of what's happening next. You are the 13th member in that base. You're just kind of you're riding along with it. That's an experience that I like so much, and that's what we get out of like the new Halloween movie. We kind of get that with this one too. You're kind of just a voyeur. You're watching it. You're coming right along with them. And that's what I like about John Carpenter's style. He knows how to do a movie, and that I like this movie.
Well, for me, I'll make it short and sweet. Of course, it's a large bag. My top 3 sci-fi horror films, or just sci-fi films in general, will be Alien, The Thing, and Blade Runner. And this movie kind of fits in those 2 other worlds in my mind. There is a fan theory about that too. But another thing we don't talk about much is the special effects. Now, this special effects artist made this when he was 23 years old. He's a protege of Rick Baker, who is horror's Stan Winston, essentially. And this guy is great. We never talked about him in our review here, but really check out his work because we've seen all of his work. He has done Seven. He has done RoboCop. He's done The Howling. He's done The Fog. This guy's a badass. And he had a budget of $1.5 million to do these effects out of a $15 million budget.
Well, he fucking crushed it. And I think we were talking about that, obviously. Like, every single part of it, man. The head being separated from the body, the Spiderhead. I mean, all of it has just been like what a fucking imagination, dude.
And if you want to check out his work, check out a werewolf movie, everybody, called The Howling. That movie is kind of like
Howl.
The Howling. The Howling. It's called The Howling.
Okay.
And it has 7 sequels. They're all terrible, but the first movie. And he made that before this. That movie is popular because that is Freddy Krueger to to American Werewolf in London's Jason in a way, kind of, because they both came out at the same time, and they both have a famous werewolf transformation scene. Now we all know American Werewolf in London's transformation scene, but the guy who did the effects for this movie did a werewolf transformation scene in that movie, and it was gorgeous. So
in the Howling.
Yep, in The Howling. Yep.
Oh, I remember this movie. This is with who's this? What's her name? Dee Wallace, huh?
Yeah, Dee Wallace was in it. It's a weird little movie, but check it out. It's definitely something fun to see if you're interested in this special effects artist work. Great work that he's done. So everybody out in the Movie Guys verse, we really hope everybody appreciates this episode of The Thing. This is part 1 out of part 2 of our Thing retrospective series. Next week, we'll be coming back for the Thing prequel, which none of us have seen, so we're excited to see where this is going from. I know Ed's not, but I'm kind of excited to see where this is going to go. And also, in just 2 weeks, we got our 3rd year anniversary show here at Movie Guys Podcast, and the polls are now open still until December 15th. Go to movieguyspodcast.com and movieguyspodcast.podbean.com, and you, the fans, can cash your vote in as many times as you want to the movies that we reviewed this year on the best films, the worst films, the best actor, the best actress, your best superhero film. Your voice and your opinion will be heard, and we will announce the winners and the results of that poll during that 3rd anniversary show. You can download this episode and many others on, like I said before, movieguyspodcast.com, movieguyspodcast.podbean.com. You can download this episode on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Just search Movie Guys Podcast. Also find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. Search Movie Guys Podcast, or on Twitter, Movie Guys Pod. Ed, Eric, thanks so much for joining me in this episode. And we'll talk to everybody next week for the Thing prequel. Have a good night.
Movie Guys Verse, thank you so much for downloading this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can find other episodes as well at movieguyspodcast.com, movieguyspodcast.podbean.com. On iTunes, search Movie Guys Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Movie Guys Pod, on Facebook, Movie Guys Podcast. And also, check out other shows within our Be Real network, such as For Your Distraction, Podpass, Underground Hot Pot, and Hey, I Like That Game. Thank you so much for downloading this episode, and tune every week to check out a new episode. Have a good night.